Hey there, it's Dina from IDon'tGetItTutoring.com. In this video, I'll be discussing reflections. So, reflection might sound very familiar, right? With a mirror, reflection of a mirror. So, but how does that relate to geometry, right? Are we basically making our own little geometric mirror? So, basically, a reflection is when you reflect something, right? Let's say you have a shirt with a word on it, right? And then you look in the mirror and then it's like backwards. That's what we're doing with geometric objects here. So a reflection is basically changing the orientation. Ooh, that was sloppy. Of the geometric figure. Ugh, so sloppy. Yeah, so we're basically changing the orientation of the geometric figure. Meaning, if we had a triangle that looked like this, and then we reflected it across this line, it would look like this. It would be like backwards. Or if we were to reflect it across this line, it would look something like this. Okay? So you could do reflections graphically and algebraically. In this video, I will be going over both. So let's start with geometrically or graphically. Okay, so let's say we have a coordinate plane and I'm going to draw some lines here. So we have some units to make this nice and accurate. And now it's kind of hard to find my axes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make those blue. Okay, perfect. Now, let's say we have I'm going to go back to the triangle example that I showed before. So, let's say we have a triangle just like this. Triangle A, B, C. Point A is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Point B is 1, 1, and point C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so what we want to do now is reflect this triangle across the x-axis. This is the x-axis. So we're reflecting it across that line. Now, in order to reflect it, we need to make sure it's as many spaces away. Each point is as many spaces away on one side of the line to the line as one side to the other side. Basically, we want to make sure you go 1 over to the line here, and then you just go 1 over to the line there. And then there you go. So that would reflect point C. B is 1 over, 1 over. So you just want to make sure both sides are equal. On quadrant 1 and on quadrant 4, we have the point being exactly 1 unit away from the x-axis. And then for A, you just make sure it's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And from there you connect the vertices. And every time you have a reflection, and any time a shape goes under a transformation, the letters get this little fancy little mark to them, like that. So points A, B, and C now become A prime, B prime, and C prime. So A prime, B prime, and C prime. A prime is now 1, comma, -4. B prime is still 1, comma, -1. And C prime is 4, comma, -1. And there you go. And let's say we wanted to take this image now and reflect that and get a different image, then the new points would be A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. So that would look like this. And then so on. If you did that, then it would become A triple prime. And then it could be quadruple prime. And so on and so on. Now, do you notice a specific pattern about that from how we went from these points over here to these points over here through the x-axis, reflecting across the x-axis? Notice the signs of the y's. The y sign changes when you're reflecting across the x-axis because you're going from positive over here to negative over here. So when you're reflecting across the when you're reflecting across the x-axis, the y sign changes. And you guessed it, when let's say we want to reflect something across the y-axis, the x-coordinate will then change sign. Okay? And then that is how you would do it algebraically, really. You would consider, okay, are we reflecting across the y or x-axis? And then from there, you just determine which sign to switch. And if you do reflect it across the x-axis and then the y-axis, you have to do those 2 steps. So first step, if you reflect across the x-axis, you change the y sign, and then from there, if you then reflect that across the y-axis, and then you change that x sign. And then from there, that is your final image, and then that would be your final answer. But that's all it is to reflections. You just need to remember this important information for any reflection that you do. Always keep this in mind. They're also super simple, and I hope this helped. Thank you for watching. Bye.